Good morning, everyone. My name is Patrick. I'm a U.S. Marine Corps veteran and former fuck up, and I'm up at almost 3:30 in the morning on a Sunday morning, shooting a video because despite all of the self-help videos, all of the motivational videos from big major public figures like Rich Piana, Jocko Willing, David Goggins, Joe Rogan, despite all of their life advice and their stories of adversity and overcoming adversity and achieving their goals and working towards newer, more challenging goals, I'm still seeing an asinine amount of people who are still acting like bitches. And what I mean by being a bitch, I'm not talking about being moody on a menstrual cycle. I'm talking in the sense of you're still letting fear get in the way of accomplishing your goals. You're still naming all these things in your head that you want to do. You're still listing off all of the things that you got on your bucket list, things that you want to do before you die, yet you're not taking any fucking steps, not even fucking baby steps, towards accomplishing this goal or these goals. And a lot of the times it's just because you're a bitch, because you're fucking scared. You're afraid of investing all of your time and money into something that could fail. You only want to invest in something that's foolproof. Or you want to just invest in something that's fucking common to you. Both of these are very, very destructive ways to think because, as cliche and as generic as it may sound, is you are what you repeatedly think about. And for those of you out there who may know um, the person who is responsible for that quote, please leave it in the comments. But yeah, you are what you repeatedly think about. You will eventually accomplish what you focus on all the time. You'll eventually become the kind of person that you focus on. From the time you wake up to the time you go to sleep. That's, by definition, that is what worshiping something is. And you'll eventually become closer and closer to what you worship, to what you think about, to what you constantly focus on, until you become one with that thing. A perfect example of this is through my own life experience. When I was 14 years old, I was the stoner of the group. I was a major pothead. I'd smoke from the time I woke up to the time I go to sleep, and everybody knew me as the stoner kid. Um, and it got to a point to where, um, in the Central Valley of California, where I grew up, if you walked around at nighttime, the city slept at night. So you were able to key in on your sense of smell, sense of hearing, not so much sight because it's really dark. And there's a perfect blend of metro and rural, I guess, rural area. So you were able to smell all the vegetation, all the plants, all the fruit trees and everything growing at nighttime. It was a lot easier to smell it at nighttime than daytime because of all the cars and all the emissions constantly, being polluted in the air. Versus at nighttime when there's essentially no traffic. And I was able to figure out who was growing weed in their backyard and who was growing weed indoors. So, like, I was even able to separate the two types of smells to where it's like, yeah, it all smells like weed to the common nose, but I trained my nose to smell, okay, this is some indoor weed, this is growing inside the house, and no, this is a rich earthy smell, so this is growing outside of the house. And then something inside of me just keyed in on this. And that's just, I would just kept thinking about where I smelled this, where it was growing, who was growing it. And I just kept focusing on it, doing my research, and eventually I started ripping people off and straight up pulling the plants out of their backyard through careful planning. Uh, and I did this year after year, from freshman year all the way to senior year. And I think even the year after senior year, after I graduated, if I'm not mistaken, but at least 4 solid years of spring and fall of ripping off multiple people's plants, just hopping in their backyard, ripping. These are huge, huge grows. I don't know what neck of the woods that you guys are from, but for all of my people that are from California, from Colorado, from Las Vegas, you'll know what the fuck I'm talking about when I say, like, this is a pretty sizable grow for it being in the suburbs, because this is the suburbs of Fresno, California. So for, I can't even tell you like the average size of a fucking backyard because I don't know. But it's not really that big. But these grows on average had, 20 to 30 plants, and each of these plants are growing like 6 to 7 feet tall. That's a lot of bud on each plant, man. That's a lot of bud. Like, even after you dry it, like, you're at least easily getting an ounce off of each of these fucking plants, man. But I would come up on multiple people, like every crop season, which would be from like the March to May time frame, like, and then the September to early November time frame. I would come up on like between 7 to 10 grows every crop season with little to no help. If I had any help, it would only be with one person. And even then, I wouldn't even really want the help. I'd mainly just use that person as more of like a fall guy if I needed to take any additional risk that I didn't feel like taking myself in the situation. Because this is a life or death thing. Like, there was kids that were constantly getting killed trying to do the same thing that I was doing because they were just sloppy, or they were just straight up unlucky. I know a lot of times that I thank, the Lord, my God, Allah, and my lucky stars that I'm here talking to you guys today. Because that could have very well been me on that fucking t-shirt, or me 6 feet in the ground. But thank God we were successful. Thank God that Patrick Hill stayed focused. He stayed focused and he stayed alive. I know y'all heard that on Call of Duty Black Ops. Stay focused, stay alive. That shit's fucking true, bro. That shit is fucking true. Stay focused and stay locked in on something, bro. Stay locked in, stay focused, become at one with what you're focused on, and you will fucking succeed. Everybody else, there was plenty of people who were envious of me, who wish they fucking had the weed that I had, who wish that they would have taken the risk that I took when they would hear me tell the story. But they didn't, because they were fucking scared. They were afraid of dying. They were afraid of getting caught, this, that, and the other. They were afraid of all the things and all of the ways that it could have went fucking wrong. And that's all they focused on, was failing. So they fucking failed. They failed by not taking action. And the ones that did take action and took sloppy action that failed, well, you fucking failed because either one, you weren't focused enough, or two, it just wasn't your fucking calling. It wasn't your purpose. You were trying to be something that you're not, bro. But that's a whole different conversation altogether. I'll save that for another video. But the point is, that was the one thing at the time that I focused on, and I focused on it intensely. I thought about it day and night. I thought about everything about the situation. I thought about the people that lived there. I thought about how they were growing it, how much, how long, who was with them, this, that, and the other. I was doing some crazy fucking recon because I was just so focused on it. I was obsessed with it. And I succeeded. And I live to tell the tale today. But that's just one of many stories on the lesson of staying focused, staying alive, um, you being what you repeatedly think about, and stop being a bitch. Most importantly, just stop being a bitch, because being scared, fucking freaking out, thinking about all the ways shit can go fucking wrong, that is not doing shit for you. Like, outside of, planning, and taking risk mitigation protocols, like, that is the only thing that really, this fear and this dwelling on what can go wrong takes place. Well, you don't even really need to dwell. I used the wrong words. Fucking not dwelling. Um, what am I trying to fucking say here? Just thinking about, the only time you should really be thinking about all the ways it could go wrong is when you're trying to mitigate the risk, or you're trying to weigh the risk of the situation. But once you already know the risks involved, like, just dwelling on what can go wrong is not doing anything for you. It's not fucking serving you. It's not helping you. It's actually hurting you. There comes a time where you just gotta weigh in the risks. You gotta accept that these are the risks, but this is what you really want. And if this is what you really want, then it's worth the fucking risk. It's worth risking it all. Yes, there is a chance that it can go wrong. Yes, there is a chance that you could fall flat on your fucking face and just be unsuccessful. But that's what makes the victory all the sweeter. That's why you want it. Because it's hard to do. Think about all the things that you want to do in life. Think about everything that you want to do. Why do you want to do it? Because it's unattainable for some people. It's something that not everybody can do. It's something that's unique and special to a unique and special person or group of people. And you want to be part of that group. You want to be considered part of that special group, or you want to be considered that guy. Or that girl, for instance. But we're talking about the male perspective here. Sorry, I'm a dude. I don't know what it's like to be a fucking female, so I'm going to speak a lot of my videos from the male perspective. But anyways, yeah. What was I saying? I'm going to leave it off there. Just stop being a bitch. Stop worrying about how it could go wrong. If it's something that you really want to do, it's something that you just constantly think about, that you're constantly focused on, that it's just constantly gnawing at your spirit, then it's something that you should probably pursue. Go against the odds. It doesn't matter what people around you are doing. Do what the fuck you want to do. Be successful in what you want to fucking do. Stay focused. Stay alive. Stop being a bitch. And look better, feel better, be better.